So example two, where you have a pesticide label rate, cypermethrin to be 4%, profenophos to be 20% strength. The quantity you have is 1 liter, and you have rice, sugarcane, vegetable. This is how it comes on the pesticide bottle. This is what you will see. 1 to 2 liters per hectare, 4 to 6 liters per hectare for sugarcane, 3 to 5 liters per hectare for rice. So the volume here is stated as 400 liters rather, as opposed to the 200 liters we earlier used. So to the question, assuming you want to spray your lettuce at post-seedling, stage on 150 meters to 13 meters plots, assuming it's a multiple span greenhouse or net house, and the sprayer capacity is 16 liters in this case, not 15 liters. How many volume of pesticide would you need to spray the plot once? How many tanks would you need? So let's delve into the breakdown of the. Okay, let me try to share the screen. Coming on to share. Also, I won't take so much time. Let me just. So back to the answer. We have 400 liters to work with. We have 1950 meters squared to work with. Now, anytime you see 1 to 2 liters, 4 to 6 liters, 3 to 5 liters, you look for the mean. So we are spraying lettuce or fruity vegetable, tomatoes and the likes. You do what? You add 2 plus 1 divided by 2. It will give you 1.5 liters. So we are working with 1.5 liters per hectare. I hope I'm not just too fast. Just trying to put everything in a single video, one recommendation, one example per video. Sprayer capacity is 16 liters. All of our parameters complete. I hope we can see the screen. Now, question 1. How many volume of pesticide would you need to spray the plot once? That is, how many knapsack would you need to deploy to the field once? What is the square meter of the field? 8,950. What recommendation is given here? 10,000 square meter for an hectare. So whatever you are getting, you get for per hectare first, then you divide it. So let's go ahead to do our calculation. 400 liters. 400 liters divided by 16 liters. Very simple. That's the number of tanks it will take to saturate that whole space. So that will give us 25 tanks or 25 knapsacks. 25 knapsacks. I hope I'm not just too fast. Now, what is the quantity of products per tank? Now that we have gotten that it is 25 tanks, 25 knapsacks that will be required to saturate the open field at once, what amount of pesticide will be in one knapsack? So how do we get this? What is the quantity of the product? You have 1.5 liters per hectare. 1.5 liters per hectare. So what you do is quantity of product per tank. $1,500 mil. If you can do the conversion, divide it by 25. Remember the way we did the last one. So what would you get? 60 mil. Just pure calculation. If 400 liters, or if 400 liters equals this, if 1.5 liters equals this, how many liters will be equals this? Since an hectare is known, 400 liters will be required to spray. 16 liters is known. 25 tanks is known. So do your cross multiplication. 1,500 mil to 25 times you go will give you the amount of those that will be in one 16 liters knapsack. So that's 16 mil. Interpretation: 60 mil times 60 mil times 25. 60 mil times 25 should give you the amount it will be required to spray the open field all at once. So to be more clear, whatever we have calculated here, we have calculated for an hectare of greenhouse. Sorry, I calculated for an hectare. Then we have 1950 square meter to work with. So 10,000 divided by 195 will give us what? 5.1. So let me attempt to this mixing. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. So we have 10,000 square meter that we've been working with, which is an hectare. We have 1,950 square meter to work with, which is our own plot of land where we are to spray. So the parameters we have been given and we have gotten before is for an hectare, which is 1.5. So whatever we are doing now is to get the amount of 1950 in 1 hectare, which is 5.1. So I'm sorry, I don't think I'm that fast. 10,000 square meter divided by 1950 will give us 5.1. That is, you can get the 5 times of our plot of land in an hectare. So what we will now do is the 5.1, the answer that we have gotten, which is 1,500 mil per hectare, will now be divided by that 5.1. 1,500 mil divided by 5.1 will give us the amount that is required to do one spray, not per knapsack, just one spray. This is necessary because if you have a larger tank, you can easily mix and complete your spraying. So 1,500 mil divided by 5.1 will give you 294 mil. That is the dosage required to spray 1950 at once. Then what's the second question? How many tanks would be needed? So this is just straight to the point. Since you know that it will take 294 mil to spray 1,950 at once. So what you just want to do is say your 294 mil that it takes to spray divided by 60 mil. That is, the amount it will take to be in one knapsack. So how many times will you mix in 16 liters? Because what you have calculated here is for 16 liters, 16 mil to 16 liters. So 294 divided by 16 mil. Please, if you don't understand, you can ask questions. That will be roughly 4.9 knapsacks or 5 tanks. Again, I'll go over all of this again. For the sake of time, we have a pesticide label. This is necessary because most of the times, pesticide label comes with 2 active ingredients. But the one you really need, we'll get to that one too. That is when you are calculating for the particular AI that you need, when you have tried every other reagent and you cannot find a single, say you are only looking for cypermethrin, but for you to get cypermethrin, you have cypermethrin and profenophos. So you have to get the dosage of cypermethrin that will be required to solve that problem that you have. But let's just take it gradually. So you have a pesticide bottle that is reading cypermethrin to be 4% strength. The EC here is emulsifiable concentrate. Profenophos is 20% strength. Then the quantity, it comes in quantity like this, which is 1 liter. Now you are dealing with lettuce, which is a vegetable. So for vegetable, you are required to spray 1.5 liters, 1,500 mil in 1 hectare. 1 hectare is 10,000 square meters. Now, whatever you calculate to make it easy for you, you calculate for 1 hectare first. Then whatever answer you get for 1 hectare, you divide it by the square meter you have been given. Then whatever you get, you then go ahead to say, this that I get divided by the mil that is required to put inside 1 knapsack. Then you get your answer for the first and the second one. This is just me trying to speed up things. Assuming you want to spray your lettuce at post-seedling stage, that is, you've transplanted, on 1,950 square meter, and the sprayer capacity is 16 liters. How many volume of pesticide would you need to spray at once? That is, you have enough workers, and you want to give them all of the knapsacks on the farm to just face the problem. So you earmark spaces, portions for them on the field, but they must all cover. If they are starting from the right, they start from the right and cover the land at once. If they are starting from the front, from the back, from the left, right, center, they must finish everything at once. How many mil do you mix down? That is so that you don't have over mixing and under mixing. So how many tanks would you also need? So in doing that, we calculated for the mil that it will take to be in 1 knapsack per hectare. It will take 60 mil to saturate, to put inside 16 liters to fill 25, because if you have to spray at once for 1 hectare, you will need 25 tanks. And in these 25 tanks, the dosage per tank is 60 mil. That's what you calculate for first. Then you look at the quantity of the product per field in 1 spray. Please, if you have any question, I will move to the third example so that I don't waste time. I want to enter another meeting now.